Hi, I'm Kristen and I am the Broken Masterpiece. I started out doing furniture flips about 7 years ago, and then I moved more into home DIYs, and you guys started loving those. And now I'm still maintaining the rest, but I started moving into Amazon reviews, and that is so much fun for my family and I. So let's get started. Today's video is all about how to paint your bathroom vanity or any built-in cabinet in your home. This method can be easily applied to kitchen cabinets as well. Our home was built in 2001, and these knobs had to go, so we removed all the hardware, sprayed it down with furniture cleaner, and scrubbed with one of those scrubbies by Dixie Belle. They've got a little bit of glycerin soap in them, and so they clean everything off, all the grease, all the chemicals that I've used on them in the past. After taking off all the hardware, you're going to want to remove the hinges, but you're going to want to label these, so get out some painter's tape and some Tupperware. I'm writing inside the door frame which door that they went on, and also putting the hardware upper and lower in the container that it should go in so that I can keep it separate so that I know which one it goes on. And it helps you from keeping your doors from flipping them upside down. So if you put the bottom on the top, it could just change how the door closes. So you really want to keep the same hardware on the same frame and keep the doors upright. This same hack can be applied for repainting your entire kitchen cabinets. All you need to do is keep good labels. So you can label them door 1, door 2, door 3. Make sure you do the same label inside the door frame right there as you do on the container that you're putting those pieces in. Now, what you might not know is this is probably true for your kitchen cabinets as well as your bathroom vanity, but you can actually take off the faceplate. Behind where you get the knobs off, outside of that, there's 2 more screws. Right, make sure you have the right bit. I thought it was stripped. It's not stripped. I literally just have the wrong bit. Change it out, put it back in, twist it back, and it is a square head. Yeah. So we're gonna do new screws. Once you get that out, this just comes off. How cool is that? So now we can just take it and spray it or roll it. But now the whole thing's gonna be painted and we don't have to worry about taping this off. This just goes back in. Woo! Now it's time to sand your cabinet. So I'm using a surf prep. If you don't have one of these, they're so worth it if you're gonna be doing lots of DIYs. Now they are on the more expensive side, but I do have a 10% off coupon if you wanna get one of these. They suck up all the dust as you go. So when you're working with drywall inside, sanding, spackling, doing any sort of projects like this, it's not gonna create a huge mess. And so those holes is where it sucks up all the dust. It comes with all these foam sanding pads, so I can go around corners like this and it's not going to kill the edge at all, and it's going to go around each corner and curve. You can hand sand, but it's not going to be deep enough for what you get. Even after I did this first sanding, it wasn't deep as I wanted to go, and so I actually put a 180 over the top of this and I sanded again and got a little bit deeper right there. And the reason for sanding is you really want to rough up the surface of the wood. This was a really glossy type of finish on this. And so even after cleaning off the wood, I need to rough it up so that my primer is going to bond and really adhere to this so that the paint is not going to get scratched off. I sanded all the faceplates and the doors inside because it was super hot. It's still summer in Charlotte, and so I'm sanding inside, but if you have a messy sander or one that's going to produce a lot of dust, make sure that you do this outside and also wear a mask. I've got another helpful hack for you. So these are actually wipes. They're called D-Wipe Outs. You can get them on Amazon. It's linked in my description, but they are going to clean and just have a little bit of chemical in them to really get off everything from the surface. You can also use a tack cloth. For painting your cabinets, I would highly recommend using a bonding primer. Ben Zinsser is my favorite. Obviously, I'm wearing gloves. I have the surface prepped, and I'm using a fine cabinet roller on it. I should probably have something on the floor. I definitely had to wipe it up very quick, but denatured alcohol is the only thing that gets this off. And so it is not water soluble, but it is the best primer that you can ever use if you're doing a cabinet project. It dries very quickly, so I go through with the edges that my roller cannot reach, and then I go right over it with my roller. I did 2 coats of this. By the time I got finished on the one end, I went back through. It had dried at the beginning, and so then I just started right over, and then I throw these brushes away. I don't even try and save them. In the garage, I had a little makeshift setup where I was going to be spraying. Now, I do use a home-right sprayer that always has shellac in it. It is my shellac gun. Yes, I do need to clean it out from time to time and run denatured alcohol through it, but I don't have to take the entire gun apart. It's so great. I just keep filling it up and I use it whenever I'm working on a project, and then I just store it and leave the material inside because shellac is just super hard to clean. And it lasts, so as long as I keep it shook up and use it every once in a while, it stays great. You're not supposed to spray shellac. It does have a flame. It has some sort of flammability in it. I've never had an issue, and I always have my fire blanket ready and my extinguisher ready, but I love spraying shellac because it just goes on so smooth and it's so nice and it's so easy. This home-right sprayer is really, really affordable, so if you need a sprayer, grab this one. I have let the primer dry overnight and it's feeling super good, but in a few spots I probably brushed on too much, so I just want to level that out a little bit. So we are going to go through, I hope your cabinet looks just as clean as mine under there. I'm going to go through with my foam sander. If you don't have a Surf Prep, you can get one like 15% off with my code in the description, but you can also just buy these foam blocks and attach it to your regular sander. We're going to go through and sand this down with a very fine pad to knock some of this off before we wipe, clean, and then paint. If you want it to look more professional, sand down your primer. Look how smooth that is. That gives me a perfectly smooth surface to paint on. And the lacquer I have is self-leveling. And so it is so smooth over here, and I'm just using a very fine sanding pad by Surf Prep. Surf Prep's great to use inside because it sucks up all the dust into my shop vac as I'm going. And I don't have to work out in 90-degree heat. As much as you want to skip this step, don't. Even inside those grooves, inside the curves, you want to get in there and sand down your primer, just like you want to sand and prep the door to receive the primer. So don't skip those hard to reach areas because you need to make sure that this paint is going to last forever, especially with kids and dogs that come a knocking and cabinets being closed. You want that paint to continue to be absolute kid-proof, dog-proof, everything. Now, if you have watched my video on the best primers that there are, I compared 9 of them. Most of them were water-based except for a spray primer from Rust-Oleum, shellac, which is the one I'm using in this video, and then I believe one more. Well, the winner of that was actually Kills 3. But the reason I don't use Kills 3 on the majority of my pieces is because I usually have to sand them. And the issue that I have found with Kills 3 is that it sands pretty gummy. And so if I don't have to sand a piece, then I can use Kills 3, no problem. And it's water-based, it cleans up with soap and water, and it's great. But the reason I love shellac and I deal with the hard cleanup that it takes and the denatured alcohol to clean it up is that it sands, and it just sands right to dust. So it sands so smooth that I just love it. I'm using my vacuum right there to make sure that I can get all the dust off before I wipe this clean. In every one of my videos, you're going to see me use a ton of different paints. Now, you can use specific cabinet paint or cabinet enamel. Sherwin-Williams makes an Ovation one that's the enamel that's like just gorgeous. It's like emerald, urethane, something. Anyways, you can also use chalk paint, you can use milk paint, you can use any mineral paint. So in all of my videos, especially my one that's all about hand painting, if you want to do this by hand using a chalk, milk, or mineral paint, I have an amazing technique to show you, so make sure you go check that video out. This one, I really wanted to use a lacquer on, and so that is why I'm showing you just this paint. This paint I had left over from a previous project probably a year ago, and it's still in great shape. It's a Renner water-based lacquer. You can get Renner water-based lacquer at any place that carries it, and you can get it made into any color that you want. So I told them I loved the Serena and Lily blue, and so I brought in a sample of it and also just showed them some pictures. We were able to get this close enough. They called it a periwinkle color. And so just so you know, if you take that code from this video and write it down for them, they're able to make you a very similar to same color. Now each paint goes on just a little bit different. I did not love the roller with this water-based lacquer. This paint dries super quick, and it was just giving this a rough, lots of bubbles finish with the roller. And so I decided after getting this on that I was going to need to brush the entire thing by hand. And even after that, I didn't love how it looked. As much as it's self-leveling, I didn't love hand painting this whole thing. I really wanted it to be a professional job, and so I went back through with my sprayer and did a second coat over it after the first layer was done. I was trying to avoid spraying inside my house, but I just used some stuff to block it off. I have the Wagner Flexio 5000 and it doesn't have a lot of overspray, so I really didn't have to block off the entire bathroom, just a good like 8 inches out. Okay, y'all get to join me at my sink. I did not like how the cabinets were painting, so I think I'm gonna tape it up and just do a spray, and I'm definitely gonna spray the drawers. So I got this really easy Wagner gun. These are my Detail Fine Finisher guns. They look like this. They're about $40. They go with the Wagner system. So I've got the Flexio 5000, and then I just buy a bunch of these so that I can use them for different colors or different finishes and whatnot. I get these micron strainers. They're so good. They're all linked in my the shopping part on this, and I just pour it right in. So I'm going to paint the cabinet faces out in the garage, and then I'm going to go up, tape it off, and then paint the face. This is 1 hour lacquer, so it really dries so fast. And I'm so glad I strained this because I can see like lumps coming out. Whenever you're spraying with a sprayer, you really want to strain anything that you put through this, because as soon as that enters your gun and gets stuck, it just gets ugly. If your sprayer gets ugly, your painting gets ugly. Just make sure that you strain. This is what the gun looks like. This twist. Horizontal, vertical, super easy to pop out and clean. Make sure this is clear, and we're ready to go. This is going to be covered up, so I don't care if I get paint on it or not, but because now I'm going to spray, it is smart to tape off the inside of these so that your paint does not go inside your drawer. There we go. Just wedge it on in that corner. For the bottom, yeah, I know this is all open, but I'm going to hold something behind it, or go get another piece of styrofoam and it should be fine. So. Welcome to Jimmy Rigging Paint Tape. Are you guys ready for the reveal? So remember, this is what it looked like before. And this is what it looks like now that it's complete. Oh my gosh, the boys installed the handles. I think they match the mirror so perfect.
Now the next thing is this.
These knobs are, of course, from Amazon as well. So I installed everything back on. I even got our toilet paper holder from Amazon as well. I think it was like $8, but it just goes with the whole chrome thing. Now, I love gold, but I had to go with chrome for this bathroom to match the mirror, and I am so excited with how it turned out. So drop me a comment below and let me know. And remember, guys, you support my channel by watching this, by clicking on my links, commenting, liking, sharing this with friends. Thank you guys so much for supporting my channel, and I will see you next week.